on in. Come on in. I am live here today. I am Dr. Natalie Phillips. I'm just going to let some people come in today. I have no music. I have no intro video. I am going off of this new platform that I'm loving. And so come on into the show. It's good to see people here show up. And so let me know you're here so I can see you. I can see there's a few people on, but post a comment so that I can kind of see you, share it out. Welcome to JustConnect. I'm Dr. Natalie Phillips. It's so good to be here. I missed last week because I had the craziest thing. I was trying to update my software and it just like crashed my computer. So I wasn't on last week and I felt really bad about it, but I just couldn't get my computer to go up and running. And I had this new software and I so wanted to talk to all of you guys. And so I missed you. Hello, Vanjie. Good to see you. Good to see you. So come on in. No intro video, but I am here today and I'm so excited to talk about the topic today that I have, which is surrounding yourself with the right people, So as people are coming in, I'm going to continue to just keep on talking here and kind of keep rolling with it here. But I just thought that this was super, super important and to see. And hello, Reg, my dear friend. So thanks for jumping on. I wanted to talk about this topic about surrounding yourself with not just great people. I know that there's the hashtag SYWGP, which is like surround yourself with great people or good people. But I want to clarify, and I really want to spend today talking about surrounding yourself with the right people. And I made some notes here because I don't want to forget, but the reason why I feel like it is so, so important to talk about who you surround yourself with are a couple of reasons. I thought about why it was so important to me. And number one is because I'm going to play the mom card. I am a mom and I sat back and I thought, when do we learn who we're supposed to hang out with or who we're supposed to surround ourselves with, and how early is too early? I've had these conversations with my kids recently, and it's something that, do we have these conversations with our kids? Do we think about the same things when we're adults? As a business owner, having entrepreneurs around you, I didn't have to worry about this as much with my kids because they were at a school where they have been with their friends since kindergarten. And so I got to sit back and relax, and I knew the families and I knew the parents and everything. And, so I really didn't have to think about it until this year. Both of my kids made some different moves into schools where they had to now make friends. And so I had to have these conversations with them. And I had to kind of direct them, but, thinking about it from a mom point of view or a parent point of view, I kind of stood back, and yes, they had to venture out to make new friends, but I didn't really direct them except for the fact that I told them who not to hang out with, right? And so that's one of the things that I wanted to talk about is, how do you know who to surround yourself with? Well, maybe start thinking about the people that you don't want to be around you, right? Because you still kind of have to know that. You can't just surround yourself with everybody that's good, and you still have to get to know them. So, just today, I was driving my daughter to a lesson, and she was talking to me. And she's about a new friend and how, hopefully she'll kind of continue her friendship with this one friend. And I said, well, what makes you like this friend? Why do you like her so much? And she said, because she's nice. And so I said, well, is she nice to just you, or is she nice to everybody? And she said, no, Mom, she's nice to everyone. I said, oh, that's awesome. And I said, what else do you like about her? And she said, I asked if she was drama free. And she said, yes, she's absolutely drama free. So yay. And then she kind of came out and said, and this was and I didn't talk to her about it, but my daughter talked to me about this. And she said, oh yeah. And Mom, also, by the way, she would follow the rules when she comes over to our house. If she stayed over, our house rules. And I said, oh, good. So nice, drama-free, and she follows the rules. So excellent, right? And that was my daughter's conversation. So everything was very positive. And, there were things that my daughter has learned from people that I said yes or no to, as far as who I hang out with or how my kids hang out with, that she's learned. Now, on the other hand, I had conversations with my son this week and with moms this week. And it was funny because, there is a kid that like I don't necessarily like my son hanging out with. And these were some of the reasons. I said, look, I've seen him be disrespectful to parents, his own parents. I've seen him be disrespectful in class because there are videos being sent around, or, photos in class. And I've seen him be disrespectful to a coach. And so with my son, it was different. It wasn't so positive, like nice and drama free and yay, she'll follow the rules. But it was more about educating my son about, okay, if we're already seeing this disrespectful attitude, and him texting my son about, oh, don't tell your parents because, or tell your parents this because they'll never know, then all of a sudden I'm talking to my son about being disrespectful and lying, right? And so that's a whole nother conversation. And I just feel like as a mom on this take about who you're going to surround yourself with, that it's important to know what your core values are and your qualities, whether they're good or bad, because you have to learn how to decipher those so that you can surround yourself with the right people, not just always the good people, but surrounding yourself with the right people is something that's totally something that I want to make out of this show today, as it's not just about surrounding yourself with good people, but it's surrounding yourself with the right people. So Chris is on here and he says, that kid sounds boring. I don't know which kid you're talking about, the one that's disrespectful or the one that will follow the rules. So anyway, so hello, Chris. Good to see you here as well. So that's one reason why I thought this topic was so important, is because I'm a mom and I'm trying to get my kids to learn early who to surround yourself with. And let's see what people are saying here. So Reggie Corona, my dear friend, says, who you surround yourself with is so very important. Core values will guide you in making those decisions. And it's really important to share with our kids as well. I totally agree. Reg. And I think that you can't start too early, right, in teaching your kids. Chris says the follow the rules kid. Oh, come on. Every mom wants their kids to hang out with kids that follow the rules. So anyway, okay. So the second reason why I wanted to talk about this was because I'm a woman. Yes, yeah, as you can tell. But, I bring this up because I feel like as a woman, we tend to make more decisions out of emotions, right? In our decision-making process. And I know, some women don't usually do that, but maybe they've gotten over it. Maybe they've gotten better at it. But I feel like women bring in the emotion to making a lot of these different decisions that we make. And so, you try to surround yourself with good. That's what you start to do, right? You try to surround yourself with the good people. And then maybe you find out that they're not. Maybe you find out that they're not good. But then my whole deal with being a woman and making these emotional decisions is that you kind of don't want to leave. You don't want to leave or you don't want to exit because you feel bad, or you don't want to hurt somebody's feelings, And so for me, I've been in things way too long, and I didn't exit because I thought I was going to either hurt somebody's feelings or, maybe I felt like I needed to be a good friend and just not like exit, right? And so those things I had to learn, and I did learn how to leave things more that were toxic and draining, and people that were just, connected to me just for, my energy. And the important thing about that is that it is important to learn that. You have to learn that you cannot use your emotions to surround yourself with people who seem like they're good, right? And so that's another thing that I wanted to bring up. And Anthony is here and says, hello from both Anthony and Katie Mayer. It's good to see you both here. And it's good to see you because I know that you guys are jumping on a live too. Anthony is jumping on a live. Put it up there in the comments, Anthony. I think it's like 9 p.m. I think it's Eastern Standard Time that you guys are on. You travel a lot, so I can't remember which time zone you are in right now. But yeah, so that was another reason why I really wanted to focus on this issue about surrounding yourself with the right people, because I am a mom and I want to teach my kids, and I want to start it young, right? In who you surround yourself with. I'm a woman. And I'm learning not to make such emotional decisions about things, and how to exit quickly if things are not healthy and if you're in a toxic area or an environment. So Anthony says he is in 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time in Canada. Okay, And then the third thing, and one of the reasons why you guys are all on here watching, is because I'm in business. We're all in business. There are a lot of entrepreneurs that are tuning in. And I just came back from this amazing summit that I wanted to talk about with you all last week, but I went to an amazing summit with bosses that are just in the audiology business. It was called an Odd Boss, AUD Boss Summit. And while I was there for the 2 or 3-ish days that I got to hang out with people, I got to surround myself with people who are driven and like-minded, and taught me a lot of different things in the field of audiology as a business and as a boss, right? And these are some of the things that I learned: that best practices are important. You can always find ways to improve efficiencies to save time and money, and that referrals are key. So you have to always have a plan, execute, have integrity, do what you say you're going to do. And this is not just relating to audiology, and that's why I'm sharing it with you, but these are some of the things that I learned just by being, or were reminded of just by being around like-minded people. But not only that they were good people, but they were the right people. And the last thing that I really learned too from these guys was that we can always learn something. We can always learn something from others. We can always learn to collaborate. I like to have this show because I like people who can jump on, share what they're going through while I'm speaking, so that we can all learn and share at the same time. So if you are out there and you are tuning in and you have something to say about maybe an experience that you've had with surrounding yourself with the right person, the wrong person, a good person, a bad person, please share it in the comments, because I want us to kind of learn alongside each other. And, I have read so many quotes about just surrounding yourself with good and great people. And some things I agree on and some things I don't agree on. And, you have to kind of sift that out. And I am seeing somebody here actually from the Odd Boss Conference. Hello, good to see you, Asia. And so I wanted to just kind of, share. Not only did I get to spend some great time with some audiology bosses and great people there, but I got to learn from them. And so I wanted to put up some of these different points that I came up with, because it is surrounding yourself with good people. But more than that, I really want to push that it is surrounding yourself with the right people. And what does that mean? What does the right people mean? Number one, it means people who are kind. Boy, that's a really big banner. So I might change that here to something like that. I like that better. Okay. So people who are kind, that is number one, right? So surrounding yourself with people who are kind and kind-hearted all the time is what I'm saying. Not just in front of people, not just on social media, not just, but people who are actually kind-hearted and are all the time like that. And so that's the first thing. Second thing is people who will challenge you to think, make moves and decisions. I am lucky enough to have some great people around me that do challenge me, that ask me questions, and I, in turn, when I reach out to be accountable with someone, I will challenge them to think. I will challenge them to make a move. I will challenge them to set a goal and reach it, And so these are the right kinds of people that you want to surround yourself with. That's the second thing. Third thing is people who believe in you. Again, there are some times when you just don't see what is in you yet. And I have had the luxury, and I have had, and one person is on here right now with us, Reggie Corona. She's one of my dearest friends, but she saw a lot in me that I did not see yet. And so people who believe in you, why it's so important to surround yourself with the right person and who will do that for you, is because you have to speak that into yourself, and you have to believe that. And there was a time when I didn't believe what Reggie, my dear friend, was saying. And so, I had to believe it and accept it, and then step into it. I see a comment on here. Another audiology boss is here. Hello, Jen, good to see you. And so she says, we've learned lessons with support staff who are really capable and quick to learn their job, but ended up being toxic in their attitude. Tender, kind, honest, really important. Yes, totally important, Jen. Thank you so much for tuning in and for sharing that as well. And so again, going back to the points of who are the right people who believe in you, because you're not going to be able to see necessarily everything that other people see in you, and you need to be able to speak that. Number 4, People who will make time for you, who show up and are intentional. That is super important because so many people out there, what I'm seeing is that people are like, oh yeah, I'll call you, or let's do coffee, or let's do that. But when you start to step over that boundary or that line of being more intentional, you start to find out that these connections are real, and that you can have these great connections and these people who will surround you that will actually make the time for you and invest because they believe in you, but also who will show up and keep you accountable and intentional. Fifth thing, people who reciprocate and who you have bi-directional value. So again, that term came from my dear friend Reggie because we are writing a book together. And so she first talked about bi-directional value to me. And it was super important because we were talking and we were laughing because we were talking about just having blinders on, right? Where I could see what I could see what she was doing for me, but I couldn't see what I was doing for her. And so having that bi-directional value, having that reciprocation where not only do you get fed, but you can feed someone as well, that is super important. And again, not necessarily has anything to do with surrounding yourself with great people, but to surround yourself with the right people. And that's what I'm going to just hammer into you guys today that are tuning in. Reggie says, there is so much more. I love watching you own it and walk the journey of your transformation. You are amazing. Thank you. Yes. And so that is my dear friend. If you do not know her, you need to know Reggie Corona. She also has her own page called Reggie. And so Reg, if you want to just put your page up there too and tag it, by all means, go ahead and do that. So people who will reciprocate is what we talked about and who you have bi-directional value. I've got two more for you. People who will help keep you accountable, both in your attitude, in the tasks and goals that you have to do, and then just keep focused. It's so hard. It's not just accountable like having a phone call, but having real goals that you're writing down, or having things that you're going to reach out and finish, right? Tasks that you have to do, attitudes. You might be having an off day and you might just have to call somebody up and say, oh my gosh, like, shake me out of this mood, or can I just vent, or can I just, and it's the attitude, right? Because if you don't have the right attitude, you're not going to be able to keep pushing forward. So this accountability person, again, right person, not always the great person or good person, but it is the right person for you is what I'm saying. So surrounding yourself with the right person to keep you focused. And the last thing that I want to share about that right person is people who stay on top of their own game. And so this I thought was super interesting because I truly believe that in order for you to continue to be inspired and to continue to move forward, you have to surround yourself with people who are not only, motivating you and inspiring you and keeping you accountable, but they have their own lane and they are growing and they are building and they are on top of their own game. It's almost like, I know this is kind of silly, and Anthony, you can make fun of me if you want to, but it's almost like how I pick my hairstylist. Like I walk in, and I've had this conversation with a few people, but I will walk in and they have to kind of have, like a hip hairstyle or whatever, and kind of know what the fashion trends are, or whatever it is. But, people have to be on top of their own game in their own lane, know who they are in order for you to have this reciprocity or this bi-directional value. Because if you have somebody that is constantly on your coattails or, looking up to you as, some kind of hero, it's not going to work. And so surrounding yourself with the right people means that that person also is strong, can be maybe inspired by you, but most often needs to have their own lane and needs to be confident in their own self as well. And so those were some of the points that I wanted to just bring up with you. And I wanted to thank you all for just kind of joining in again and making the time to show up for this show, JustConnect. And I'm so thankful for you all. And I'm so glad that I got to share that with you. So please, again, jump in on the comments and please share anything that you've learned along your own journey of just surrounding yourself with the right people. I was once told that, sometimes I just the only reason why I'm where I am is because I surround myself with people who are just telling me what I want to hear. And that is so far from the truth. That might be my number 8, is that the people that do surround me, challenge me. They ask me questions. They make sure I am on the right path. And whether it's, whether it's the truth, well, it is the truth, but whether it's hurtful or not, they're able to say, I'm not too sure that might be the right path for you, or whatever it is. And so when you surround yourself with the right people, it doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to tell you what you want to hear, but they're going to tell you what you need to hear, and you're going to hear the truth. And so thank you again for joining in. And don't forget, I do have a YouTube channel, and please subscribe. You just type in Dr. Natalie Phillips, and all of these shows are loaded up there. And if you want to join in on Facebook again, every Wednesday, 5:30 p.m. Mountain Standard Time on JustConnect. And I will see you next week. I hope everybody has a great rest of your week. All right. See you later. Bye.